Welcome to Betting Weekly Tennis Live in association with Bet Rivers. I'm Rory Jiwani. With me is Tim Dennis. The first US Open Women's Quarterfinal is underway, well underway, between Jessica Pegula and Barbora Krejcikova. I think this might be a bit of a watch along, and hopefully you're not going to be treated to me having a nervous breakdown during it. It's the only match in progress right now. We'll obviously keep you up to date with that and look ahead to today's late matches at Flushing Meadows. Remember, we want to get your thoughts and comments on the action. We're also on social media at Because We Win. And if you like what you hear on our shows, you can sign up for our newsletter, get exclusive tips and the free Insider magazine. Sign up for free at www.bettingweeklystudios.com. Also, Bet Rivers are running a special promotion for the US Open. Log into your Bet Rivers app or your betrivers.com account every day of the US Open to receive a profit boost of up to 50% for wagering on the tournament. See the app and website for more details. That's the admin done. Tim, how's your US Open going so far?
Yeah, not too bad, probably. At this moment in time, a little bit less stressful than yours, I'd say, Roy, watching Krejcikova. I mean, she did well to break back, having gone a double breakdown, so she's still here swinging for you. And well, just the one break now, which we know isn't much in women's tennis, and we've seen her turn it around from a worse position this week so far, haven't we? So still hope.
Still hope. It's the hope that kills you, as they say. Let's get you up to date with Pegula Krejcikova. Didn't start very well, as you'll know, as some of you will know. Krejcikova was one of my futures pick for the tournament, and I also selected her at $14 to win her quarter. So she needs to win this match to cash that ticket. She went down 3-love at the start, broke back, but then lost the opening set 6-3. Now she's done, she's got broken to love in the opening game of this set. She was broken again. She's just got one of those breakbacks, as Tim said. Now, she has done this before. She's come from pretty poor situations against Emma Navarro and Taylor Townsend in previous rounds. She saved 8 match points against Townsend in the second set. I'm not sure she's going to be able to pull off the Houdini act this time. I don't think Pegula's actually playing that well. I mean, I think, as in the previous couple of matches, Krejcikova, she's either sublime or ridiculous. There's no in between with her at the moment, and she's just making too many errors. Pegula is serving, so she's a setup. She's serving 4-3 up and now 30-15, and Pegula minus $50 to close out victory. Krejcikova $15 to win. Is there any hope for Krejcikova here, do you think, Tim?
I mean, she's going to have to hope Pegula drops a bit, because she's been, even though Pegula hasn't been great, Krejcikova hasn't been much better as she was so far today. To me, she looks a little bit lethargic, whether she's carrying a bit over from that Townsend match physically and mentally, perhaps. But yeah, it doesn't look to me like Pegula's sort of played her off the court, does it? And she seems to have just be going through the motions and getting through without doing too much special.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first opponent Pegula's had in the top 50 at Flushing Meadows so far. So she's had, not a bad draw. And considering she came into this tournament in really ropey form, she's just held for 5-3. So Krejcikova now serving to stay in the match. I'm a bit surprised with how Pegula's done this tour. I mean, as I said, the draw has helped her. And she's been solid. She's just been like Jessica Pegula, hasn't she? She's nothing spectacular. She's just quite solid.
Yeah, exactly. And like you say, she's had a bit of a nice run through this draw. She's going to get to what looks like maybe the semi-finals with only beating a sort of an undercooked, it looks like, Krejcikova and no other player inside the top 50. So a good effort for her. And like you said, I think I backed her in Cincinnati earlier this year, and I think, like you said, ever since Wimbledon, she's been pretty much dreadful, hasn't she? And so, but she obviously goes well here. She lost in the final here to Sabalenka last year, and it looks the way it's going at the moment. If Sabalenka can come through tonight, you might have a repeat of that in the semi-final.
You could well do. We'll look at a match in a moment. Just to give you some notable wagers on this match, there was a wager of $2,250 on Krejcikova on the money line at plus 200, which I thought was quite a big price. $2,000 on Krejcikova minus 6.5 games. That's at minus 286. And also $1,730 on Pegula on the money line at minus 232. The majority of the bets have been for the American. 88% of the money and 85% of the tickets on Pegula. And on the spread, 90% of the money and 69% of the tickets also on Pegula. And over and unders games, 77% of the money and 52% of the tickets on under. So, you know, the bettors thought Pegula would come out on top, and they're being proved right at the moment. And as I speak, Krejcikova has just served an ace to go 30-15. She's 3-5 down, of course, as she tries to stay in the tournament. So we'll keep you up to date with that as Pegula plays a really good forehand cross-court winner. Great pass to make it 30 all. You mentioned, as you say, if Pegula wins this and Aryna Sabalenka wins her quarterfinal against Marketa Vondrousova, we would have a repeat of last year's final. So let's have a look at Sabalenka Vondrousova. They're playing tonight. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern time. And Sabalenka, they're minus 278, Vondrousova plus 230. The spread's 4.5 games, totals 21.5. Now, Sabalenka leads the head-to-head 5-4, thanks to her win at Cincinnati last month. The score was 7-5, 6-1 that day, but conditions here are not as quick. It's at night as well, so it's going to be a bit cooler and slower. Tim, before I get your thoughts, it looks like Pegula has got match point here. It's 30-40 on the Krejcikova serve. So the dream may be about to die for me here, but we're just going to see this match point. To say Krejcikova 30-40, first serve into the net. Don't end on a double fault, Barbara. That would just be terrible. It's waiting for this second serve. It's a good second serve down the middle. Rally from the baseline. And Krejcikova goes long with the forehand. So Jessica Pegula is into the semi-final, 6-3, 6-3. And unfortunately, Krejcikova, my wagers on Krejcikova to win the quarter and outright have just gone down the toilet. Never mind. Sabalenka Vondrousova. It's going to be a bit cooler, I think, than Cincinnati and slower. Do you think that gives Vondrousova the edge? And what have you made of Sabalenka so far in New York?
She just seems to be getting the job done without being spectacular so far, Sabalenka. Whether she's going to do a bit of something like Jannik Sinner, and when the sort of the pressure cranks up, she's going to find her best. I'm not so sure personally. I mean, if you look at the last 4 matches these two have played on actual hard courts, I think Sabalenka sort of dominates the stats. She sort of leads the service points one and return points one. So it was 111-89 over those previous 4 hard court matches. And she's got a brilliant record in Grand Slam quarterfinals. I think she's 12-1 in her last 13. The only one she lost was to Mira Andreeva at Roland Garros, when I think she was maybe slightly under the weather there. I think I remember there being a slight caveat to that. But yeah, like you go, apart from that last match against Buska, she's had a 7-5 or a 7-6 set in every game she's played so far here at the US Open. And I think Vondrousova's had a 7-5 or 7-6 in every match she's played. So you can see these two sort of do have their moments. And I mean, the stats sort of say something different. What my eyes are telling me. So for me, it's a tricky one to choose. But my sort of slight lean was to get with Vondrousova in some way, whether it be over the total games at sort of, over 21.5 total games. That was plus 100 earlier, so that's now minus 108. So that's shortened a little bit, or whether you want to get with Vondrousova on the games market. But yeah, I want to get with her in some way, because I think Sabalenka, she's going to give her a chance, and she hasn't played sort of the clean tennis we know Sabalenka can play, but not. But we know she can find that level. But yeah, she doesn't quite seem to be doing enough at the moment, as she probably was 18 months, 2 years ago. So I like getting with Vondrousova in some way, whether it's over on some way with her, I think. What did you think, Rory?
Yeah, you're just cutting out a little bit. I'm not sure what's happening. I heard you obviously say you want to get with Vondrousova some way. Some trends to report. Sabalenka, maybe this is the scene for her to get back to life, because in her last 4 US Open quarterfinals, she's won the first set 6-1. And you mentioned about her form at recent slam matches. She did cover the spread against Christina Buxa, although it was kind of, when we looked at it on Saturday, the spread was 6.5 games, but I think it changed to 7.5. Beg your pardon. Which way? It was one way. I think it was 6.5. It was 5.5. But anyway, I think Sabalenka may have covered the spread. She hadn't done so in her previous 8 slam matches, so she hasn't covered the spread very often. I think one thing that I thought, I mean, I picked Vondrousova to beat Jelena Rybakina at the weekend, and I think that was more on the basis that I wasn't trusting Rybakina to follow up, because she played so well against Raducanu. I wasn't convinced she could repeat that against Vondrousova. It was funny the other night. I woke up in the middle of the night, no reason really, but I checked the time and I thought that Vondrousova Rybakina might be on, and sure enough, I watched the last couple of games, and Vondrousova's serving was absolutely unbelievable. She served 3 aces in a row in closing the match out. I don't think Vondrousova's got anyone to fear here at Flushing Meadows. She's won Wimbledon, and the way she played, certainly the way she closed out against Rybakina, and the way she played second set against Jasmine Paolini, I think she's got a chance of winning this. And, you know, I wouldn't put anyone off the money line at plus 230, but I agree. I think the spread or overs games is probably the way to go here.
Yeah, I mean,
do you have a preference?
Yeah, so looking at the market, she's minus 121 to win a set with Bet Rivers, but the bet I prefer to that is you can get over 10.5 player games is minus 110. I think that's a better way of doing it, because if she wins a set, I'd be fairly comfortable she'd be winning 5 games in the other 2 sets, even if she was to lose both of them. So I think that's the best way for me to get with her. Yeah, and then if she does come out and blow Sabalenka out of water, then great, because we're on that over 10.5 games. So yes, looking at the over 21.5 games, I think the value is probably slightly more with over 10.5 player games at minus 110. I said, I think that's where I'll be looking to get with her, because she looks excellent, isn't she? And Sabalenka still doesn't look to be at her best, does she?
And do you think it being a night match helps Vondrousova? I suspect it might do with it being a bit slower in the evening.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially having played against Rybakina at the similar time of day, I think that's going to be in her favour, isn't it? And even though that head-to-head record doesn't speak great for her, yes, just for the eye, maybe you want to be careful how you go about that. But just on the eye, I think she's got a better chance than the market's suggesting there.
Yeah, so we both like Vondrousova there, but Tim's suggested bet is total Vondrousova games over 10.5 at minus 110. So that's Tim's first official play of the show. Keep your comments coming in. I think I saw one saying Sabalenka TT 12.5. So I guess that's the Sabalenka version of your bet.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
So that's total games Sabalenka 12.5.
Yeah, minus 117. That is. Sorry, over minus 109, under minus 117.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this does have the potential to go deep. Although I thought that about Krejcikova against Pegula, and that one didn't turn out. That one didn't go to plan. But yeah, Sabalenka Vondrousova, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That should be very interesting indeed. Is it 8 p.m.? It might actually be 10 p.m. I think it might be 10 p.m. Eastern time. But that is tonight in the women's quarterfinals. And the winner of that will play Jessica Pegula after she beat Barbora Krejcikova. Let's have a look. We've got a match just about to start. Jiri Lehecka against Carlos Alcaraz. And let's have a look. Lehecka was plus 850 earlier. He's now out to plus 950. Alcaraz minus $20. Spread is 7.5 games. Totals over 31.5 games is minus 118. Under 31.5 games is minus 109. Now, Sean Calvert and Nigel Seeley have done a game bet match show looking ahead to the men's quarterfinals. So they've looked at this match in detail. Go check it out. But Tim, do you have any angle on this match, Lehecka Alcaraz? I mean, Alcaraz at minus $20, it's not really a betting proposition, but do you have anything that you like in this match?
Well, I think maybe on the games lines there, maybe on the totals 31.5, that might look at a fraction cheap, because we know Lehecka is a good solid server. I think the thing that might just slightly put me off that is they haven't admitted it, but it almost looks to me that sort of Alcaraz and Sinner, they're almost having this competition, and every time one of them plays brilliant, they seem to be raising their levels. I think obviously bar Sinner playing obviously destroyed Bublik yesterday, and I just wonder whether Alcaraz obviously will know the score of that, and whether he thinks, okay, well, even if he can't win 1-1, he wants to win as best he can, because I've seen him sort of win a few sets very comfortably so far this week, where perhaps he's just being spurred on that little bit extra by Sinner. But we know Lehecka can cause him trouble, doesn't he? I think he took that first set in the Queen's Club final when they played in the summer of this year in London there. And yeah, he's got a good all-round game, and I don't think he's going to be able to live with Alcaraz over the course of 5 sets, but he's well capable of having a good sort of 40-minute period and causing Alcaraz some problems. So I think if I was looking to have a bet, it would just be a lean, but I'd probably be looking to go with either Lehecka total player games, which are 12.5, which might interest me, or maybe the total games at 31.5. I'd be looking to go over those in one way or another, I think, but only a lean, I think, because of what I said about this. They just seem to be up in their levels, almost to outdo each other.
Yeah, in favour of that, Alcaraz making short work of Lehecka. 8 of his last 9 Grand Slam quarterfinals have been unders on total games. So under 31.5 games, minus 109. That could look quite tempting. A couple of notable wagers to report, both on the spread. $1,925 on Lehecka, plus 7.5 games at minus 129. That's actually minus 112 now. And Alcaraz, $1,200. Alcaraz minus 7.5 games at minus 120. That's pretty much the same as it is now. It's currently minus 122. As far as where the money's gone, it's all about Alcaraz. 95% of the money and 94% of the tickets on the Spaniard. On the spread, 59% of the money and 66% of the tickets on Alcaraz, and definitely favouring unders in the over-under games market. 67% of the money and 52% of the tickets on unders. I mean, does Lehecka have any chance here against Alcaraz, do you think?
I don't think of winning the match, but I mean, we could be made to look stupid. I think if you've asked this question this time last year, does Botic van der Zandschulp have any chance of beating Alcaraz? We'd have said even far less than that. But he did win it, didn't he? Just having a few.
Oh, yeah, you look like you're frozen a bit, Tim. So hopefully we'll get Tim back. Are you back, Tim? No, not just yet. But yes, of course, Alcaraz was upset last year. And yeah, I mean, it's just that Sinner and Alcaraz at the moment, and we have lost Tim. Hopefully we'll be back in a second. It does seem that Sinner and Alcaraz are just so far clear of the rest at the moment. We'll also be looking ahead to Novak Djokovic against Taylor Fritz. That one is tonight. As I said, Sean and Nigel covered this game on Game Bet Match. The video dropped a couple of hours ago, so do check it out. Tim, you're back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, Rory. I'm not sure whether there's maybe just a bit of a jump on the stream there, but yeah, we're back in. Yeah, sorry about that. Hopefully we're all okay.
Yeah, welcome back. Grazer with a comment. It's a brave man that goes against Alcaraz straight sets. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think Lehecka does have his work cut out. But as you said, shocks do happen, but they don't seem to happen to these two, these Sinner and Alcaraz at the moment, do they? I mean, they just do seem so far ahead of the rest.
Yeah, and I think that's a point I made earlier. They do seem to be. I think there is a case of maybe trying to outdo each other, and that's bringing their levels even higher than we thought possible. I mean, they've been so far ahead of the rest of the competition, haven't they, beforehand? And now this just seems to be taking them even further ahead, if that's even possible. And I'm just going to have a look at the stats there. I saw over 4.5 double faults from Lehecka. I'm just going to look at their previous head-to-heads and see how many they've had. But that could be an angle because Alcaraz is going to put pressure on that Lehecka second serve, isn't he? Which might just encourage him to go for that little bit more. So that could be a good way of looking at that over 4.5. I think he served 7. Sorry, just the 2 at Queens in that time before. So I think probably more of a match to enjoy rather than be betting. I think the prices look about right to me. I don't know what you thought, but it looks to me like the lines have probably got it about straight.
Sorry about that. I just went mute for a little while. Yeah, the lines have actually just moved slightly. It's now 32.5 games, over 32.5 games, -107, under 32.5, -117. I guess Lehecka's serving first because his odds have contracted slightly. He's now $8 and Alcaraz -1667. Spread's still 7.5 games, but Lehecka +7.5 is -122 and Alcaraz -7.5 is -106. So that match is about to get underway. Tonight we've also got Novak Djokovic against Taylor Fritz.
Before we go there, if that is there, if Lehecka is serving first there, you can get -106 on the over 9.5, and as long as it doesn't get broken more than once, that will cash there. Because I mean, a 6-4 set will be losing his serve once, and yeah, if that, I haven't quite got it confirmed there on my live score whether that's the case, but if it is, then that's probably a little bit of an angle into that first set match. I would say -106 over 9.5. As soon as I get it confirmed that he is serving first, I'll confirm. But
okay,
if he is, I mean, that might be a way to go.
Yeah, over 9.5 games at -106 could be a bet for you in play right now as you're watching this. Yeah, that does seem so. It just sudden move of the odds because I said Lehecka was +950 and Alcaraz was -$20, and suddenly it's changed to Lehecka $8. So it makes me think that Lehecka is serving first, but we'll just get confirmation of that. And if that is the case, then yeah, over 9.5 games in that first set could well be a bet. Let's go back to Djokovic, Fritz. Again, Sean and Nigel have covered this match on Game Bet Match. The video dropped a couple of hours ago, so check it out. Djokovic now -182, slightly on the drift. It was -190 earlier. Taylor Fritz +155. He was +160 about half an hour ago. Spread is 2.5 games, totals 40.5. I mean, Tim, my first question would be about Djokovic's fitness. I mean, he's 38 years old. Can he last this out against Fritz and the home crowd?
He can, yeah. I mean, the head-to-head record certainly suggests he can, winning with it being 10-0 in favour of him. And football, that fans of Fritz will say if he's ever going to do it, it's going to be now. He's had a good summer, Fritz, isn't he? Winning that title in Eastbourne, playing well at Wimbledon, and generally playing good for the majority of the summer. I think he looked excellent in his last round against Mahax. I don't think he's even faced a break point in that match, having looked a little bit sort of middle of the road for his previous rounds. But I think in the previous match these guys had in Shanghai, I think there was only one breaker serve in the game. That came in the first set in favour of Djokovic. And I think so far this week, Fritz is 81% of first serve points won, and Djokovic is just a little bit below that at 77. So again, a difficult one to sort of have a real angle on. But the bet I liked going into it was over 10.5 in set one was plus 175 when I looked earlier with Bet Rivers. So yeah, 7-5 or 7-6 set, and we'll see that cash. And I think that's cashed 2 times in the past 6 matches and 3 in their last 8. So a reasonable chance of that happening with the way they're both serving, and this first set will be it'll be massively important for both. And I think if Djokovic wants to, he'll want to win comfortably, and with that head-to-head record, I think he's won 8 of the 10 in straight sets. So all of that does show in favour of Djokovic, and he's all about trying to maintain as much energy as he can and sort of keep himself fitness-wise in the best shape he can, because he'll be looking to go forward. But yeah, Fritz, I think this has to be, if he's ever going to beat Djokovic, it's going to be now, isn't it?
I think so. Let's just tell you about some notable wagers. $1,000 on Fritz on the money line at plus 143. 1,000 on Djokovic minus 1.5 sets at plus 115. As you say, Djokovic, he's won each of his 10 previous matches against Taylor Fritz. He's won each of his last 4 Grand Slam quarterfinals in 4 sets. And he's covered the game spread in 8 of his last 9 main draw matches at the US Open. So that's quite an interesting stat. So Djokovic on the spread could be tempting. And the money, where's the money going? It's going both ways, actually. The money line, 51% of the money and 55% of the tickets on Djokovic. The spread, 52% of the money and 64% of the tickets on Fritz. And lots of interest in overs, 64% of the money and 82% of the tickets on overs games.
I think the longer it goes should suit Fritz, shouldn't it? With
you'd think
maybe
so.
there's slight concerns about, but Djokovic, I think they've had small issues, these two, before with. I think Fritz was fairly sure Djokovic was sort of over-egging his injuries when I think it might have been when they played in Shanghai, and I don't think he was over happy about that. And I think Djokovic has had the medic on at least a few times in I think he's in every game he's played so far this week. So there's every chance the doctor will be on again at some stage. Whether that's in truth or just a bit of gamesmanship, we'll have to wait and see. But there's probably no better player of gamesmanship than Djokovic. But I'm hopeful of Fritz here. I think a few of us might have actually put him up as our sort of outsider, if you like, of the outside the big two on our Betting Weekly newsletter. So yeah, I want to see Fritz beat him tonight.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed for you. Your suggestion or the bet, is that an official play, Tim?
Yeah, I think if we obviously maybe matches a little bit short to go by today with these 2 matches to look at, but I think if we were going to do a double for the day, Rory, yeah, I'd do. I think over 10.5 games in set 1 I'd put in here with add that to Vondrousova from earlier on. So both of those games tonight. Okay, so
10.5 seems to be the theme of your bets today. So over 10.5 games total for Marketa Vondrousova against Aryna Sabalenka, minus 110, and set 1 over 10.5 games in the match between Novak Djokovic and Taylor Fritz. That's actually plus 165, and the double pays plus 406. So that's a nice price I double. Do you think Fritz, I know you say if he's going to do it, but I just feel like, you know, you can't really back a 38-year-old in this. I mean, I just find it really hard to see Djokovic, you know, against a younger opponent like Fritz, who's a really good player.
Do you think he's got the edge over these younger players, bar the top 2, i.e. Fritz, Shelton, Musetti, perhaps? He's above them, but he's obviously below the top 2.
Yeah, I mean, who would he face in the semi-finals if he gets through? Which one of the big 2 would he face?
He gets Alcaraz.
He gets Alcaraz.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think, as you say, if Fritz is going to do it, it is tonight. I mean, he's got, you know, everything in his favour, home crowd, but when you've lost 10 in a row against someone, that's quite a big psychological hurdle to overcome, I guess.
Yeah, I think another store. I just have to check my notes here, but yeah, Djokovic has never lost a quarterfinal in the US Open, 13-0.
Wow.
if it goes on forever, that'll break one day. So it's just a question of whether it's going to be tonight.
Absolutely. So that's Djokovic and Fritz. We'll have a quick look at the two other women's quarterfinals. First up, it's a rematch of the Wimbledon final between Iga Swiatek and Amanda Anisimova. Of course, we all know what happened in that Wimbledon final. Swiatek winning 6-love, 6-love. Anisimova plus 275, Swiatek minus 345. Spread 4.5 games, totals 20.5. Swiatek has been, I don't think she's been all that impressive so far. She made really hard work of Suzanne Lamons, like really hard work of an opponent you would expect to beat pretty comfortably. And I don't know how Swiatek won the first set against Anna Kalinskaya, who just lost the plot. I think she was leading, was it 5-1 in that match?
5-1 it was, yeah.
5-1.
I was actually watching at 5-1, and I think I was in the gym at the time, and I put the phone away for half an hour thinking, well, the first set's over. And was amazed when I checked the phone half an hour later and the match was over. So, yeah, amazing. Like, agreeing, she hasn't been great. I've just had a look at the scheduling of this match. I'm actually quite surprised. They're second on Ash tomorrow. I was amazed that's not a night match. I think Anisimova's played a couple of times at night already, being the home player. I know Swiatek prefers to play in the day as well. So as far as the home player goes, I'm a little bit disappointed at that for her, and it obviously favours Swiatek as well. But Anisimova was excellent last night. I think maybe had in mind not the best of opponents, but she's hit the ball so cleanly, and if she can hit the ball as cleanly against Iga, I think she has to start well, doesn't she? If whether she starts serving or she's second to serve, she has to be 1-1 worst case after 2 games, I think, doesn't she? She can't be falling behind and then playing catch up from the word go, because otherwise doubt's just going to creep in and memories of Wimbledon. And yeah, I think she has to get off onto a positive start.
Yeah. So do you think she's got a chance?
I do. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do. I'm hopeful she does anyway. I sort of around sort of French Open time, I was having small bets on her for this tournament. So okay. I'm hopeful, but a long way from confident. Again, I'm a little bit disappointed with the scheduling. I thought she would have a better chance at night. But then if she's going to have to beat her, she's going to have to beat her, isn't it? So it can't be worse than Wimbledon, can it? That's the way to look at it.
It really can't. And the final quarterfinal, which, as you say, is going to be the night quarterfinal, is Naomi Osaka against Karolina Muchova. And like Krejcikova, I've backed Muchova on the futures and to win the quarter. So it's another big match for me. I don't think I'll be staying up for it, though, because it's going to be very late at night where I am. Muchova plus 195, Osaka minus 235. Spread 3.5 games and totals 21.5. I suppose my big worry, as it normally is with Karolina Muchova, is her fitness, because she looked like she was in trouble in the second set against Marta Kostyuk. Won the first set, looked really good, looked to be injured in the second. She had a medical timeout and then came back to win the decider, 6-3, a very up and down, a very emotional match, as they often are. But Osaka was superb against Coco Gauff. Looks almost back to her best. Head to head, looks to be 2 apiece. I mean, I think based on what we saw in the previous round, Osaka's a worthy favourite. But Muchova, her style gives everyone problems. She's my favourite player to watch. What do you think might happen here?
I'm slightly concerned that every match she's played so far this tournament has been 3 sets, Muchova, and then she was fairly heavily taped up on that leg, the upper thigh there, and she obviously wears that sleeve on her arm, and that's just a small concern for me. But I mean, I know you mentioned that Osaka last night. I thought Gauff was bang average last night. I thought she pretty much I know Osaka played pretty well, but I thought Gauff was awful on the ground. She just certainly the last few games I was watching, she was just dumping the net after net. I think she pretty much just gave the match away in the end. I thought she was really poor. So I think with that head-to-head record being 2 each, and And Muchova, obviously, she made the semi-final here last year. She'll be trying to do the same again. Whether Osaka might still have the odd doubt, having not got back to this level since childbirth, but she's been there before and she knows how to do it. But yeah, I'm hopeful for you, Rory, here. So we'll be cheering on Muchova to try and hope she doesn't go the same way as Krejcikova.
Yeah. She was, like you and Taylor Fritz, Muchova was also my outside pick for the newsletter. So fingers very much crossed there. I won't have an interest in the match, but I'll just be cheering on the Czech player. They've just got underway. Lehecka serving first against Carlos Alcaraz, and Lehecka's won the opening point. No change in the odds though. Lehecka plus $8, Alcaraz minus 16.67. Just saw a couple of your comments. Tamash, I have Osaka and Alcaraz parlay to win the US Open. Well, that would be quite valuable. Fingers crossed for you, Tamash. The one before was about watching Muchova on grandstand. If you can put that message back up. Oh yes, here we are. Empty front row next to her coach or mum. She was great, very confident. Well, she was great until she got injured in the second set. I think it was funny because when Muchova, she had her injury timeout, she wasn't moving very well. And Kostyuk was obviously winning points, getting very, very excited. And then the third set, Muchova seemed to be moving better again. So hopefully it's something that's just sort of like a twinge or something that just went and won't come back. But to say with Muchova, it's the story of her career. An incredibly talented player, but made of glass. So hopefully no injuries tomorrow against Osaka. Thank you all for your comments. Tim, thank you for your company. Let's remind everyone of your daily double, Tim.
Yeah, we're going to go Vondrousova over 10.5 total player games at, I think it was minus 110, was it, Rory, when we last looked? And then over 10.5 games in set one of Novak, Djokovic and Taylor Fritz at, I think there's a little bit of money for that now, plus 160, I think you said. So
165.
165, okay, perfect. So yeah, we'll the 10.5s, we'll put them together, slightly different bets, but yeah, we want over 10.5s for Vondrousova and set one in the Fritz match.
You've actually had a bit of a drift on your Vondrousova bet. That's now minus 108. So we're going to get a better price. Minus 108, plus 165 over first set games, Fritz Djokovic. And the daily double pays plus 411. So that's a nice price daily double. Fingers crossed on that one. Fingers crossed for Karolina Muchova tomorrow. The boys will be back tomorrow looking at... So what's going to be the first match on Ash? So will it be Swiatek Anisimova about this time?
I think it's de Minaur and Felix are the first match on.
Okay.
But, yeah, de Minaur, Felix, the first match on Ash, followed by Anisimova and Swiatek. And the night session is Muchova, Osaka and Sinner Musetti. So
live in play tomorrow should be that first
every chance it'll be, depending on how long the men's game goes. I mean, the women's game is scheduled not before 1 p.m. Local times. That'll be 6 p.m. us. So we might just be starting. I guess it just depends how long Felix and Alex de Minaur go.
Oh, they won't be over in 2 hours, will they?
You'd be very surprised. You'd be very surprised, yeah.
Yeah, so we should get that in play tomorrow. Thanks for your company, as always, Tim. Thank you, everyone, for watching. As I say, the boys will be back tomorrow with more in-play action from the US Open. And, yeah, make sure you join us again tomorrow. It won't be us, but it will be... I guess it will be Nigel and...
No, I think Mitch. I'm on tomorrow with Mitch.
Oh, you're back tomorrow? Double shift.
We've got to go again tomorrow, so... I'll be honest with you, I hope the de Minaur game does go long so I can watch Anisimova in peace, whether she wins or loses. It's tough gig doing it live.
It is. I mean, luckily I didn't have to suffer too much. I was put out of my misery fairly quickly with Krejcikova earlier. But again, thanks for watching and we'll see you again soon on Betting Weekly Tennis Live.